only one with no sea experience. So, but my connection to the sea is that my father is a mariner who left the sea very young to set up his shipping business. Unfortunately, I never, it wasn't a dream to go to sea, and I was working in the family business very contentedly till 2012 when WISTA happened, and I found this amazing network of women whom I could relate to. And yes, I needed a mentor. Even on shore, I needed a mentor, because everybody kind of assumed when I started working that I was a secretary or somebody in a low position, and they wouldn't take me seriously. I didn't aim to start working on diversity issues, especially with seafarers, because I have no sea time experience, and that just came about, by working on certain policy issues with the Director General of Shipping. There's one incident which I want to share with you, which will tell you about the perspective as to why I think it's so important, especially in India, to have a policy for women seafarers. And it was about 2 years back. I went to our shipping minister and I told him that we want to, have more women sailors, because we have the same issue in India. Companies have an unwritten policy that say we don't recruit women, and it's not written, so you can't take action against them. And they might even take your application, but they're not going to hire you. So young women who want to go to sea, they don't get to complete their sea time. They eventually have to take up shore jobs. So I went to him and I thought he's the shipping minister, and that's good enough, right? And I told him that we want to encourage more women at sea. And he told me in Hindi, which is our local language, he said, "Child, if women go to sea, who will look after the home and children?" And that is our shipping minister talking. And I was flabbergasted, because for me, publicly, he's a politician, and publicly they say the right things, but to hear it actually coming from him, and he was completely unapologetic about it. So I decided, if he's not going to do anything, it's up to us, the buck stops here. We have to start doing something ourselves. I started getting all these young women who would approach me to help them get placed. And initially it started with, using my connections. Okay, let me call so-and-so and so, this company. And what really triggered me, or got me, really up and about the harassment issue, was one of my mentees. It was a girl called Aarti, whom I put on a ship. And I was completely out of touch with her for many months, and finally one day I sent her a message and saying, "Are you here? And we're having a WISTA event. If you're going to be around Bombay, we'd love to hear from you." And she said, "No, I'm back home, and I was hospitalized," because she was on this ship where I placed her in the company where I knew the CEO. And apparently, the captain of the ship would ask her for a drink in his cabin, and she would refuse. And it was not a direct harassment, but one day she had a fall, and the captain just said, or she hurt her hand very badly, and the captain just said, "Oh, it's fine, there's nothing wrong with you, and she's just a girl, she's complaining." She went for a week without medical attention, and by the time they got her the medical attention, she would have lost power in her hand. And that really got me thinking, and I'm so sorry. I'm not usually like this. It's
Annie, she makes everyone cry.
Yeah, you did yesterday. And that got me thinking. I said, this is a girl, and before she signed off on the ship, they made her sign a recorded statement. They took a video and they made her say that she was treated fairly. And I told her, I said, "Aarti, you had the power to reach me, and I would have taken everybody in that company to task." And she did reach out to me, and she had access to me. And what really gets me, she said, "You know what, they wouldn't take me back on the ship, and I wouldn't get employment again." And I think that's the sad part, because women undergo these terrible, unjust situations, and they're not going to be taken back, and that future employment depends on that. So that's something that really shook me, and I said, no, we have to really work towards the change. And that's the time we came up with the diversity handbook. I started working on it, and we had a diversity charter, which Karen Orcel, our ex-president of WISTA International, helped me, and we worked with Natalie Shaw of International Chamber of Shipping. So we actually zeroed in on our diversity charter, what we wanted. Basis the charter, we brought out the diversity handbook. And it's a very simple handbook available for download on the WISTA website. It just says basic do's and don'ts. When there's a woman on board, what can you do to make it better for her? I also decided that we should go to the Director General of Shipping and have a mandatory course on gender sensitization. So this is what I feel one way would make a big difference. I've been lobbying for the last 5 years to have a half-day mandatory course for gender sensitization. It's going to be very simple. It starts with awareness, but it has to be mandatory. The last Director General of Shipping, who was a woman, she told me, you know what, I can't do it because it will be just a tick box. I said, even if it is a tick box, you have to start somewhere. If every single cadet in India has to go through pre-C, is going to go through a half-day course on gender sensitization, on managing their bias, it might be a tick box, but they know that they're there for a reason. Thank you. And if every 5 years, when they go back to renew their license, if they are made to undergo all these refresher courses, which are so-called so important, but if they get to do this as well, I think it will be such a huge step. And I've been trying since the last three Director General of Shipping in office. It hasn't worked, but that doesn't mean I'm going to give up. It just means I'm going to push harder. And maybe if we actually get to do that, it would set a precedent. Maybe other countries could do that. Imagine, this is an important issue. The IMO is saying the theme for the year is empowering women. And if this is such an important issue, sometimes you have to make things mandatory. You have to make it compulsory. You have to get people to do it. Even if they're going to just attend the course and go back and say, hey, you know what, I don't believe in it. But there's a reason they're doing it. And somewhere along the line, that is a starting point for me. But when I talk at associations, so when we talk at an ISWAN supporting association, and I tell people that Indian female seafarers have a problem with an all-Indian male crew. They do not have a problem when it's a multinational crew. They have a big problem, and the men look back disbelievingly and they say, no, we treat them like our daughters. And I said, bullshit, that is not true. And I went to the CEO of the Indian National Ship Owners Association and said, why aren't you doing anything? And he actually had the guts to tell me, the Indian gaze is very dirty. We don't want our daughters to get molested and raped, so let's not put them on the ship at all. So I told him, what can we as women do? This is what we are, we've got bodies like this. You have to change the way you look at women. There's nothing that really we can do. I think partnerships are key in working. I would love to work with all of you. I mean, I'm looking forward to working with Ali as well. So partnerships are key, and I just want to talk a little bit about the Swedish company Sandvik Gender Award last year, which actually triggered India's first survey to get data for women on shore and at sea. We've had 700 women on shore do the survey and 91 Indian seafarers. The findings of the survey will be presented in September and in a report to the industry to kind of give feedback as to what companies can do better. We use the Norwegian tool, the She Index, to get data from employers. I think it's amazing that a Swedish and the Norwegian Consul Generals both in Mumbai are doing their best to help Indian women. But what we also found as a result of the findings is that there are very few women leaders. And I think many of you touched upon that. And that is why I thought I would do a new social venture called SheEO. So creating the next generation of women leaders. We're going to launch the Leadership Accelerator program in September and give all sorts of support. We're going to actually target companies who will identify women at mid-management level positions, because women cannot fund this. And we want women to progress in their careers, but there are plenty of companies who would want women leaders. So the ultimate aim is that companies put women through this accelerator program. We give a complete mentorship and a support system to women. And I would like you all to join me at the SheEO conference in March 2020 in Mumbai. And Helen is going to be there and she's supporting me. Thank you. Thank you all.